Welcome to this lesson about conditionals, which is part of the first chapter of the Objective Advanced coursebook, and you can find more information and detailed examples on the grammar reference page 162. So what is a conditional sentence? A conditional sentence discusses factual implications or hypothetical situations and their consequences. Conditional sentences contain two clauses, and the clause is a part of the sentence. It consists of the condition and the result. For example, if you study, this is the condition, you will pass the exam, which is the result. There are four types of conditionals: the zero conditional, the first, the second, and the third conditional. Let's start with the zero conditional. This is used to refer something that is not imaginary, but real. You create the sentence by using if and twice the present simple, so the zero conditional is formed with both clauses or both parts of the sentence in the present tense. It is used to express a certainty, a universal statement, a law of science, and so on. The zero conditional is different from other conditionals because the introductory if can be replaced by when or whenever, because it refers to something real that we have all agreed upon. For example, if or when you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. If or whenever you don't eat for a long time, you become hungry. If or when the sea is stormy, the waves are high. Everybody believes this to be true, so this is an example of the zero conditional. The first conditional is used for something that is possible and also very likely, so it is very likely that the condition will be fulfilled. You create the sentence by using if and the simple present or present simple, and the will for the future. The first conditional refers to the future. An action in the future will only happen if a certain condition is met. We don't know for sure whether or not the condition will be fulfilled, but the condition is realistic and therefore likely to happen. Note that the main clause can also be at the beginning of the sentence. Let's give some examples. If I catch the bus, I will get to school on time. I will get to school on time if I catch the bus. When do you use the first conditional? Well, conditional sentences type 1 refer to the future. An action in the future will only happen if a certain condition is fulfilled by that time. We don't know for sure whether the condition actually will be fulfilled or not, but the conditions seem rather realistic, so we think it is likely to happen. For example, if I find her address, I'll send her an invitation. In this case, I want to send an invitation to a friend. I just have to find her address, and I'm quite sure that I will find it. Another example, if John has the money, he will buy a Ferrari. Now, I happen to know John very well, and I also know that he earns a lot of money and that he loves Ferraris, so I think it's very likely that sooner or later he will have the money to buy one. The second conditional refers to a situation where something is possible but very unlikely that the condition will be fulfilled. In this case, you construct a sentence by using if and the past simple or continuous, plus would, could, should, or might. For example, if I found her address, I would send her an invitation. If I had a lot of money, I wouldn't stay here. Note that if clauses type 2, in these cases we usually use were even if the pronoun is I, he, she, or it. So we say, if I were you, I would not do this, instead of if I was you. Now let's take a look at the use of the second conditional. These conditional sentences refer to situations in the present. An action could happen if the present situation were different. I don't really expect the situation to change, however, I just imagine what would happen if. For example, if I found her address, I would send her an invitation. In this case, I would like to send an invitation to a friend. I have looked everywhere for her address, but I cannot find it. So now I think it is rather unlikely that I will eventually find her address. Another example, if John had the money, he would buy a Ferrari. As I said before, I know John very well, and in this case I know that he doesn't have much money, but he loves Ferraris. He would like to own one in his dreams, but it's very unlikely that he will have the money to buy one in the near future. The third conditional. It is impossible that the condition will be fulfilled because it refers to the past. You create this sentence by using if and the past perfect, which is a perfect tense in which you use had instead of has or have, and would, could, should, might, and have, and past participle. For example, if we had studied other cultures at school, we might have been more confident about traveling. If you had arrived in Japan 3 months ago, you would have seen the cherry blossom. So how is this used? Well, to refer to situation in the past. An action could have happened in the past if certain conditions had been fulfilled. Things were different then, however. We just imagine what would have happened if the situation had been fulfilled. For example, if I had found her address, I would have sent her an invitation. Sometime in the past, I wanted to send an invitation to a friend. I didn't find her address, however, so in the end I didn't send her an invitation. Another example, if John had had the money, he would have bought a Ferrari. I knew John very well, and I know that he never had much money, but he loved Ferraris. He would have loved to own a Ferrari, but he never had the money to buy one. So in short, the conditional in English. You see an if clause and a main clause. The zero conditional refers to eternal truths. If you freeze water, you use the present simple, it turns into ice. Again, the present simple. The first conditional, in this case something is possible and likely. If I find your email, present simple, I will send you the picture, future with will. The second conditional refers to something that is possible and unlikely. If I found your email, past simple, I would send you the picture, the future with would. And the third conditional refers to something impossible because it was in the past. If I had studied, past perfect, I would have passed the test, future perfect, would plus have, and past participle. Please take a look at page 162 of your grammar reference page in your book to find more examples and explanations and learn more about the mixed conditionals. Thank you for listening.